Oke, halo guys, balik lagi di channel BadRush. Jadi hari ini mari kita lanjutkan kembali ya. Cuman di sini gua menemukan sebuah quest lagi. Jadi pertama kita tanya-tanya dulu aja silan, oke? Sebelum kita lanjutkan quest kita yang sama albedo ya. Jadi ini kita anggapannya kita lock dulu lah questnya, biar nggak hilang nanti. Biar di di jurnalnya nanti tinggal kita ikutin lagi aja navigate-nya, kita nggak harus kesini lagi gitu loh. Oke, bentar dulu guys ya. Oke, gua balik lagi. Yuk kita lanjutin lagi. Oke, kayaknya nemu treasure lagi sih lan. Ini yang lan yang suruh kita ngalahin ruin hunter tuh loh, kalau nggak salah. Tapi kita nggak nemu treasure sebelumnya. Kalau sekarang nggak tahu ini bakal nemu apa nggak, kita juga ntar mungkin habis albedo kita cari tahu. Oke. Oke, sudah ditandai.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild.
Kita ini dulu. Gua mau dispatch dulu sama nyari-nyari lagi. Karena gua butuh ini banyak guys, jadi gua pasang lagi aja. Tapi kita ambil dulu. Oke. Yang ada itunya sini doang. Oke, jadi terakhir tadi siapa ya udah. Barbara, albedo. Oh ya, meat juga butuh untuk kita masak. Ember noele. Oke, yuk let's go. Sekarang kita ke tempatnya albedo lagi. Bentar, mana sih albedo ini ya? Navigate lagi. Yuk, kita ke gunung lagi. Let's go. Kita lanjutkan. Semoga bakal selesai hari ini ya. Soalnya di eventnya ada dua quest kalau nggak salah. Sama yang suruh nyari bapaknya Jul itu kan belum kita selesaiin. Sekarang udah kita buka areanya, mudah-mudahan bisa lebih gampang untuk nyari si bapaknya Joel. Si anak kecil yang di itu, yang sebelum kita masuk ke gunung esnya itu loh. Anyway, langsung kita lanjutkan kembali. Ini albedonya belum gua build ya, jadi gua masih pakai noele. Nggak masalah. Kita ambil dulu potion.
I've just tried some. It's in line with my expectations. Remember to keep calm at all times. And breathe deeply if you feel unwell. I'll be noting down all observable results and data points.
Oke. Wah anjir, 5 loh. Oke, drink. Oke, kita ambil yuk. Where it is, ini ya. Yes. Dah. Oke, now. Oke. Gak ada perubahan apa-apa nih.
Tasty? You've got a funny look on your face. You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What's happened to her?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very positive one at that. This potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, a repelling reaction is to be expected. But if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete, there won't be any other effects.
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. Perhaps it's just scholarly self-assurance, and it certainly speeds things up. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned, you're no different from anyone else in this world. Nothing peculiar.
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the undesirable variety. The good thing about ordinary is that everything is an object of reference, and everyone understands you. People are the same. They can understand, empathize, encourage, and support one another. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, you can ask people who've made the same mistake for their experience because you are them. But a peculiar person, they don't have much recourse for the things we take for granted. The essence of their life is fundamentally different. For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyro-regisvine or an eye of the storm. Have I explained it clearly enough? To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Timaeus, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. You gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me, but starting with the premise of an elemental life form, now that was...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter, I'd like your research at the fore as opposed to my judgment.
You can count on me, sir. I'll extract a result satisfactory to all.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was, that's the spirit. Mr. Albedo, say something.
Before we can proceed with our research, I need to prepare something. Wait one moment. If you're interested, why not have a look around? It may help to pass the time.
Okay. Suruh observe. Sama mana lagi? Oh ini.
Here comes Albedo. Let's go see him.
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Not to worry. They're all for alchemical purposes. You'd be hard-pressed to find an everyday use for them. Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Tevat, for example. Here, those with visions can manipulate the elements, but worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side, do you possess any unique abilities? Ones that don't exist in this world? I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment. No. You shan't be required to exert quite so much effort this time around. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it. That was your best effort? Well, can't be helped, I suppose.
What's with the disappointment? Isn't that, like, impossible?
Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking, as such. Rather, channeling your power into the ingredients themselves. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that others find surprising. Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Dapat resep lagi.
Paimon was looking forward to more mad scientist stuff.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly nutritious.
Paimon bets you're just hungry. It does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are always on the same page.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking forward to the results. If there's anything left over, maybe Timaeus can finish the last morsels.
Paimon doesn't think we'll have that problem.
Oke, ayo kita masak.
How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the...
Kita pelajari dulu. Mana tadi? Oh ini dia. Co-op mode doang. 15 pula. Waduh, cuma bisa bikin sekali kan. Siapa nih yang bisa masak? Wah, ini aja deh ya. Yang double aja. Oke. Sudah beres, cuma bisa masak sekali juga.
That was fast. Looking forward to testing the results. An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone wrong. But anyway.
Hey! You were being nice a second ago! But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon forgives you. And you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends too, right? Good students?
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. Anyway, moving on to the next experiment. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me. Animal crystal fly elemental extract and electrohypostasis powder.
Paimon's barely finished eating and you want us to go gathering again?
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace them anyway. Though finding them would save me the hassle. If you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing, lost property would be a thing of the past. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh yeah! You could use elemental sight!
Nah, itu kemampuan kita kayaknya. Ada buku.
This must be electrohypostasis powder. The extract of an animal crystal fly can only be animal elemental.
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. 1,000 thanks. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountains, correct?
Yep. Guess it does sort of count as a superpower, huh?
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is not unheard of in Teyvat. Only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would be of benefit to my research.
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I'd call this a very worthwhile experiment. I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning. In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Let's start with physical. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing?
Nope.
And if you jump from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then?
Nope.
So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then could you see her? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, we'll gain a more thorough understanding with an experiment. I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please, follow me.
Oke, ayo kita tes lagi. Ngetes
Still in
si
one
Gemi.
Good thing the vial's so strong.
Oh, kita hidupin dah ini biar kita anget. Kan sayang.
No escape!
Ada summon guys.
A reward on the road.
Okay. Offering this crimson again to first bearing this may yet yield its reward. Okay. Oke, kita jadi anget ya. Ini di mana sih? Oh, Haiger. Ya ampun, ke atas. Kita ke atas dulu. Aduh, kok nyangkut. Nggak bisa. Oke. Licin, guys. Oke, ini dia, kita udah sampai. Wah, ngapain nih, suruh terbang apa gimana? Kita salah jalan pula.
You want us to jump from up here?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively, using the method that seems most rational to us. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather refreshing. No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please, I eagerly await the results.
Oke, kita suruh ngapain nih?
Wait a minute. While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Itu bisa
Oh!
ganggu kita.
Forget Paimon said anything.
Oke, untung dekat.
Great work. I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway, if it turns out that the natural laws of Tavad do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to. If the natural laws of Tavad do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. I hope you won't be offended. Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably fleeting in nature. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a sunsetia or a sweet flower. They cease to be noteworthy.
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting and the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that serves to pique my curiosity now.
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, like, boring to you? Like some basic draft of a sketch?
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime. Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
Oke. Tes kepintaran ya nih. Mana nih di situ? Oke. Jauh nggak tuh? Pakainya jauh. Waduh, mana jauh banget. Waduh, ini belum gua teleport pula. Aduh, sayang sekali. Oke, kemana nih? Ke situ. Waduh, jauh mas. Sampai nggak ya? Tuh, udah malam pula. Oke, yuk cepetin ya. Aduh. Bentar. Biar ini dulu, biar ngisi dulu. Serut. Yo, let's go. Untung nemu ini. Hangat, ayo. Aduh, nanti deh ya guys ya. Turun dulu. Kita udah mau ini nih. Udah mau beku ini. Nyampe nggak ini? Kemarin sih nyampe guys. Nggak tahu nih sekarang. Aduh, nggak nyampe ini kayaknya. Aduh, kemarin nggak nyampe ya. Kemana dulu ya kita ya? Bis lah, nyampe lah, itu. Yuk, nyampe yuk. Nyampe loh.
I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test. I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do is an action I wish to observe. Remember that this is a test of intellect. So should you get lucky in any way, that won't be factored in as part of the test. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like.
Oke, yuk kita mulai. Gimana nih? Solve the nearby mechanism. Oke, ini ada ini.
It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution.
Jiwa-jiwa yang diselamatkan. Gimana ini? Apa ini maksudnya? Apakah harus tabrakan sama ini? Oh iya. Puzzle apa ini? Oh, harus kebuka semua ya. Nice, kebuka satu. Terus yang kedua. Loh, si jiwa-jiwa
Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Anjir, karena dingin lagi. Ayo kok nggak mau? Aduh, gimana nih? Oke, guys. Satu di situ, satu di sana. Oke. Waduh, ada itu.
Go, go, Baron Bunny!
Anjing.
Be gone!
Mati kau.
Yeah, yeah! Yeah.
Mati kalian semua. Oke, satu lagi di situ. Oh, berarti harus dari sana ya. Juga mau ngambil ini dulu guys. Ada sesuatu di sini. Berguna kayaknya ini nanti. Oke. Apa itu? Oh ampun. Biar hangat. Wow.
Not so hard!
Sungai yang dingin kan.
I'll catch up. Leave it all to me. Yeah. As a good knight should.
Anjing.
No one escapes my sight. Wingblade. Prepare to be blown away.
Nice. Ya, di sini terbuka lah.
A reward on the road.
Ini guys. Bentar, ini ada yang bisa ditambang nih. Staff silver. Nice, bisa bikin. Ini quest challenge-nya nanti aja ya. Kita selesaiin ini dulu deh. Ini tuh kita bisa naikin kan? Ah, let's go. Oke, situ dulu. Anjing.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Terbang aja. Mati anjir. Yuk. Ayo jiwa-jiwa. Yang harus keluar. Nice. Let's
It should
go.
now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something... Oh, seems that the water level has suddenly decreased. We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look.
Wah, apa ini? Ini bos-bos.
What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, a true mystery. Let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get some cool results for once. Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Oke.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the result of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast.
Waduh.
You're not
bos
leaving
hari.
until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You! You
You
didn't
didn't
leave the
leave the
mountain?
mountain.
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger, drinking anonymous potions, participating in all kinds of strange experiments? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so
Ya
naive.
curiga terus ya sama kita.
Or perhaps you were colluding from the beginning.
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it. And anyway, he didn't even use any alchemy.
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've got to hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is dangerous, that's good enough for me. I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda are these symbols.
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Regular patrols should be set up here. Now then, all things considered, I deem that you pose no immediate threat, which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work overtime on your account.
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her. Let's go see Albedo.
Oke ya, balik aja. Tidak ada apa-apa. Apakah yang bisa digibuk? Tidak ada. Balik. Let's go to the campsite. Let's head back. Let's get back. Dan kita dengarkan apa konklusinya ya dari percobaan kita dari kepintaran, tes fisik, segala macam. Apa yang kita dapetin?
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today. and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just
Ya
by
kita
looking?
manusia, bro.
We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Teyvat's natural laws, it isn't even able to sprout, let alone bloom. But after I observed you, I had another idea. Imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
Apa ini? Oh, kirain jadi ubur-ubur.
the transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem, and now to fruition. Is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself? It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived efficiently, lived to perfection, is necessarily one unburdened by loneliness. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. You've got Paimon to look after you. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt.
Tapi
Your
kenapa
help
Rosaria
inspired
juga
me to
curiga
discover
sama
the
Albedo?
means to make a flower
Bukan,
bloom.
kenapa maksudnya kita udah kita
I mean
jangan
that the
langsung
time I've
percaya
spent
sama
traveling
Albedo
with you
atau
in the
segala
mountains
macam
was a
gitu.
valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit your help again? Well, glad I can count on you.
Oke, apakah sudah beres?
I
Quest
made a
kita.
point throughout of telling her how ordinary the results were.
Apa?
But what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial?
Wah, itu.
It should not have been there. What could it mean? Those
Apa
born of earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. You and I are alike, both composed of a substance that has yet to be fully defined. If, one day, I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything, can I rely on you to stop me?
Memang Albedo apaan? Monster kah? Dan beres guys, but mungkin harusnya kemarin sekalian ya, kalau ternyata menurut gua secepat itu. But anyway, sekarang kita ini aja kalau gitu. Kita lanjutkan ini satu kali lagi. Gua mau lanjutin yang ini ya guys ya. Lost in the Snow, navigate. Because kita lihat event ini ya Albedo ini yang kata temen gua kita bisa dapat senjatanya harus nyelesain ini dulu. Katanya ya, but kita coba dulu deh. Harusnya sih ya, karena tuh tadian sebelumnya ada di sini ya. Gua belum nunjukin sih, tapi maksudnya gua pas lihat event ini ada dua ya, yang event yang kita jalanin tadi, quest ini tadi, sama Lost in the Snow. Jadi ya sekarang kita cari bapaknya Joel, terus mungkin katanya dapat ini katanya pedangnya si Albedo katanya ya. Semuanya bisa pakai sih asal pengguna pedang pendek, kayak misal siapa Traveler kita pakai itu sebagai pedang pendek, kayak juga pedang pendek. Jadi entarlah gua pakai siapa juga nggak masalah sih, tapi katanya ini cocok buat Albedo katanya. Terus ini belum tahu refinement material. Terus ini sama apa ini kayaknya ini apa namanya, artefak ya. But yang terpenting yang kita cari jelas ini, dan ini untuk meningkatkan, ini untuk ngegacha, ini untuk meningkatkan level. Oke, jadi langsung aja, dan mungkin besok kita akan ini ya, hangout event. Terus ini mah nggak usah susah.
Hello, nice to
Ini
meet
juga gue
you.
belum
My name
sempat.
is Xiangling.
Kalau kita
I'm a
udah
chef
bisa
from
ini,
Liyue.
kita dapetin
My favorite
Xiangling
place is
lumayan. Terus test run juga nggak usah diliatin ya. Sama ini juga nggak usah. Jadi mungkin besok gue akan quest yang event yang ini ya. So yuk langsung kita cari bapaknya Joel, 251 meter cenah di situ. Oke, yuk kita cari bokapnya si Joel, cari-cari anaknya nggak pulang-pulang kayak Bang Toyib. Kok mati lagi sih? Ini kan lumayan buat ngangkat-ngangkat. Meskipun masih panjang sih dari kita.
Bet you can't keep up with me.
Ding, ding, ding. Aduh, nggak cukup. Cukup. Nah, tahan dulu. Oh, ini yang tadi ya, tinggalan. Ding dong, ding ding. Ding 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 ding. Hidupin dulu biar hangat. Udah ini. Oh, ini harus di ini ya. Nice. Oh, belum semua. Buat petunjuk kah? Nah. Anaknya bapaknya bener-bener hilang anjir. Sekarang di situ ya, udah kita balik ke ini aja sekalian heal ya. Kalau untuk muka-muka teleport paling pas gua offline aja. Oke, bentar kita isi nyawa dulu. Oke, nice ya, let's go. TW lagi.
I'll race you there.
Kayaknya harus pakai ini guys, coba deh. Ini dulu ya. Bentar. Nah,
I'll catch up. Someone needs assistance.
ngecain kalau es ini di sana. Bisa digebuk soalnya. Enggak ngaruh aja deh, udah ini aja. Tapi mau jalan lagi. For these foxes. Oke. Kita panaskan dulu. Suruh ngisi makanan teman. Oke ya. Bentar. Ini kemana lagi? Oh, suruh balik ke Jol, udah ya. Tapi bentar, kita coba investigasi ke dalam dulu guys. Siapa tahu ada sesuatu yang oke. Ini dia bisa nambang nih. Nah, lumayan Star Silver. Sama ini tadi buat apa? Gue bacanya kecepatan. Wow.
Go, buddy. Windblade. No escape. Yeah. Windblade. Sit down.
Kita yang mau mati tapi anjir. Ini nggak ngurangin. Jo, harus ke bawah. Aduh. Anjir lah. Aduh. Oh iya, masih makan nih. Baru mau. Oke. Nice. Ya udah, mending kita lapor ke Jol dulu aja deh. Kita nggak kuat guys, bukan nggak kuat sih, mungkin ntar pas gua offline aja ya daripada kelamaan. Kita lapor balik dulu ke anaknya biar minta tim SAR lah buat bantuin, jangan kita. Aduh. Nah, bapakmu hilang nah. Oh, sudah beres, cuma gitu doang. Tapi kenapa ini? Apa ini?
Hey, let's go see Timaeus. Paimon has a favor to ask him. It'd be great if we could catch Sucrose and Albedo too, but they seem really busy lately, so let's not get our hopes up.
Kenapa ini? Kenapa tiba-tiba The Snowy Pass? Ini kenapa ditandai gini guys? Oh, ini berarti ya yang ini. Oh, ini guys, yang ini kayaknya. Yang dapetin senjata itu ini. Jadi buka event ya. Ini kan? Nah, go to quest. Nah, oke. Sudah di navigate. Kita kesini juga deh guys, yuk. Kita selesaikan. Udah berapa menit nih, tapi nggak masalah ya. Nggak apa-apa, agak panjangan dikit ya. Oh, ternyata kita buka 2 quest itu baru keluar quest terbarunya. Ya, at least kita jalanin setengah lah ya. Ntar kalau udah agak lumayan kita berhenti dulu. Jam berapa? Gue lihat jam. Jam 11 sih.
Is that Albedo? Why is he leaving?
Hey, it's the Traveler and Paimon.
Hello, you two. It's been a long time. Were you having a really serious discussion right now or something?
Just a regular catch-up. We meet here once in a while to go through any recent developments in our research projects.
So we just missed him. Maybe we should have hollered to him. He didn't look in the best of moods just now, though. Was he upset about something? If so, he probably wouldn't have been in the mood to help out anyway.
Upset? You mean Albedo?
Yeah, he wasn't looking his usual self.
Upset? Uh-oh. I wonder if...
What are you looking at me for?
I wonder if Timaeus' research topic is
So boring.
so boring that Albedo finally snapped.
Surely not. It's not that boring, is it?
Nah. Anyway, Paimon wanted to ask you for a favor, Timaeus.
A favor? Well, sure. How can I help?
Well, Paimon found a bunch of super-duper sweet Sensetias in the mountains the other day. But if Paimon eats them all, then they'll all be gone. So Paimon isn't ready to finish them all yet. Paimon was thinking maybe you could make a device that you put fruits in and it turns them into juice. That way, they'll be preserved for as long as Paimon needs.
Oh, yeah, I'm afraid that sort of thing is a little...
Huh? Seems pretty straightforward to Paimon. Can't you do it?
Paimon, I'm afraid you've entered into the realm of the weird and wonderful with this one.
Okay. So how about you, Sucrose? Any idea?
I'm sorry. It doesn't sound like it falls within my area of expertise. I could give it a try if you really want, but I'd probably just end up giving all your precious fruits arms and legs.
Whoa, your tone is so calm, but your words are so terrifying. You'd think I'd be used to this by now.
Well, as you know, my focus is on bioalchemy. Besides, keeping things fresh forever is just not possible. If you just wanted to modify certain properties of the fruit or their seeds, on the other hand, I'd easily be able to help with that. Alchemists usually focus in on their own research areas. Take us, for example. Timaeus, Albedo, and I all have very different research foci. Paimon, your idea is very imaginative, but it's beyond Timaeus' and my ability. I don't think even Albedo can make such an incredible device. After all, alchemy is not mechanics. There is a big difference between the two.
Well, excuse Paimon for overestimating the power of alchemy.
In fact, before Albedo showed up, everyone in Mondstadt thought alchemy was useless. Of course, we know better now. But even then, I have to admit, alchemy is only one of the many wondrous arts in the world. It's certainly not some kind of all-powerful magic that can simply take a substance and preserve it indefinitely. Sorry. That wasn't meant as a criticism against you personally.
Paimon just wanted some fruit juice. What's wrong with that?
Oh, of course, these are just Timaeus' and my subjective opinions on the matter. If you're really intent on pursuing this wondrous device, you can try your luck asking Albedo, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If he has no idea how to make one either, you'll have to give up on the idea.
He doesn't seem to be in a good mood today, though. What if he ignores us?
He won't. Albedo is not that kind of person.
Hey, so where is Albedo heading to anyway? Dragonspine?
Unless he specifically says otherwise, Dragonspine is where he usually goes. He seems particularly fond of that place. And somehow, the cold doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Then let's go to Dragonspine to find him. Come on, there's no time to lose.
Oke. Yuk kita ikuti saja maunya Paimon. And let's go. Mana nih Dragonspine? Oke. Nah, ini ketemu si Ember.
This looks lively. What's the occasion? Let's go and have a look.
Hey, Traveler and Paimon. Fancy meeting you all the way out here.
Amber? Cyrus? Halid? What's everyone doing at Dragonspine? Don't you mind the cold?
Oh, the Traveler is joining us too. Oh, great! Fantastic! Wonderful! The more the merrier.
I agree. I feel much better with the Traveler joining us. Definitely the kind of person you want to have around in a tight spot.
Oh, right! Paimon remembers most of these people are from the Adventurers Guild. Then again, it seems a certain Outrider is doing too.
Allow me to explain. The Adventurers Guild is holding winter training on Dragonspine. As you know, our members have varying levels of adventure experience. Dragonspine is an excellent place for budding adventurers to challenge themselves and improve. But it's dangerous to go alone. So, we made a plan for senior members to pair up with junior members. This way, everyone can experience training on Dragonspine together under safe and controlled circumstances. Now, every adventurer can progress together. I've been working on this grand plan for half a year now, and it's finally coming together! It's a great plan, isn't it? Hey, you are an outstanding
Cyrus.
adventurer. Surely you must be willing to join us and help out.
The Adventurers Guild
Sepertinya
short
tidak.
on experienced members?
Well, that's part of it, actually. The other reason is, when I was patrolling the perimeter of Dragonspine, I found a lost kid named Joel.
Yeah.
I heard he lives
Yeah,
here on the
ngikutin
camp,
bapaknya,
so I
jangan-jangan.
escorted him back. I know. Joel's father went missing. I totally sympathize with how much Joel misses his family. Dragonspine is so bleak and deserted. It must have been so lonely for him here.
Aw, Amber.
Anyway, I wanted to do something to cheer Joel up, so I said I'd build a snowman with him. It's something he enjoys doing. It also gives me a chance to stay here for a while and help Cyrus out. Aw, really? Thank you. Let's go meet up with Joel then. Oh, I invited another friend of mine to join too. She should be here any second. She'll be perfect for this kind of thing. Hey, Cyrus, we've got to take off. Is that okay?
No problem. Go ahead. I still have some final checks to make. So, I will call you before we depart.
Oke. Kasiannya si Joel ya. But anyway guys, karena kayaknya udah terlalu lama ya, jadi besok akan kita lanjutin lagi aja. Jadi kita akan ngobrol sama Joel ya. Aduh, habis ini aja, oke? Bentar.
Hey, Joel, we're here.
Ternyata.
Hi everyone. I'm so happy
Kalau
right
nggak ntar
now.
pas kita
It's
ke
nice
ini,
to have so
ke-
many people to hang out with.
Apa namanya?
Are you here to build a snowman too?
Build a snowman.
Mana? Olah. Oke.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to do the
Gua nggak
introductions.
ngejar di karakter ya.
This is Eula, the Spindrift Knight and captain of the Knights of Favonius Reconnaissance Company.
Amber, you're being far too formal. The child is never going to remember all that. Please, just call me Eula.
Yula.
Okay, Auntie Eula.
Yula.
You could.
Auntie
Aduh.
Eula?
Yula.
Uh-oh. Eula's gonna add that to her long list of scores to settle.
All right, if that's what you want to call me, go right ahead.
Auntie Eula.
Eula just let something go for once?
Karena
Amber,
gua,
what's this I hear
udah
about a
gua jelasin
snowman?
kayaknya ya, dia
I came to
episode
assist
kemarin.
because you told me
Gua
the
cuma
Adventurers
ngejar,
Guild was
ya,
short-handed.
at least satu apa? Biar nggak terlalu memakan biaya ya. Jadi satu
Yeah,
elemen,
that's something
satu
else.
karakter
But look,
bintang 5
Joel's
aja,
at the
makanya gua
age where
ngejar
he should
si
be having
Albedo.
fun,
Kalau
and there's
si
nothing to
Cryo,
play
emang
with
gua
on
belum
Dragonspine.
punya. Gua punya Aloy sih, cuman
He used to build
gua mau
snowmen with
ngejar
his dad,
Ganyu aja.
and since
Katanya
his
sih
dad's not
habis ini
around,
kan,
we're
si
keeping him
Ganyu
company
bakal rerun
instead.
lagi. Soalnya ada si
Besides,
Sene
Eula,
kan.
it's gotta be more fun than taking an ice bath all by yourself. Let's combine our
Cryo
forces
banyak
and build
banget, guys,
ourselves a
yang
huge
bilang.
snowman. It'll be a ton of fun.
Yep. Count Paimon in too. Paimon wants to build a snowman.
Nah, jadi bikin snowman.
Auntie Eula, are you too busy to join in? If so, it's okay. I understand.
No, nothing like that. My mind was on something else,
Ternyata
that's all.
baik anjir.
Building a snowman with Joel, are we? Sounds wonderful. I'd be delighted to join you.
Oke.
Then let's get started. First, we need to split up into teams to gather some supplies. Joel and I will be on
Kenapa
one
nggak
team.
jadi nyariin
You and
bapaknya,
Eula can be
anjir?
on the other
Apalagi
team.
dicari ya?
Hey, Joel, see that huge tree over there? Wanna race me there?
Yeah, let's do it.
Kita suruh ngapain, Jo?
Those two are fast.
Ini
It's hard
tapi
to tell
questnya
which of them is
ngapain?
having more fun. Hey, what's up with you two? Why are you just staring at each other without saying anything?
Well, Joel probably hasn't spent much of his life in the city. He doesn't know me. And he doesn't know what the Lawrence name means to the people in Mondstadt.
Right. That's why he calls you Auntie Eula.
True. In his eyes, I'm just another ordinary person from Mondstadt. It was a surprise, but not in a bad way at all. How very perceptive of you. Were you staring at me the whole time when everyone was talking? You shan't be getting off lightly for that. The truth is, I'm a little concerned that I might be quite inept at building snowmen. I have never built a snowman before.
Ternyata nggak bisa.
My upbringing was very
Belum
strict,
pernah soalnya.
so I never had the chance when I was a child. And after I grew up, of course, it's not the sort of thing I would spend my time doing.
Oh no. Paimon's starting to feel sorry for Eula.
You sound confident. All right then. Enough small talk for now. I see we have a member of the Adventurers Guild joining us.
Greetings. We have a slight problem here. We've done a head count, and it turns out that we have an odd number of participants. In other words, we still have one instructor slot left to fill. How it happened was, we originally asked Fischl to be an instructor, but she was busy with something outside of Mondstadt during this period. So, we found another adventurer to fill in for her, but they still haven't shown up yet. Thank goodness you are here.
Oh, hello. My name is Gerald. I'm a new adventurer.
In that case... Fine. But for that, you will pay.
Huh? Pay for what? Okay, I got it. I'm ready and willing to learn.
Good, good. Then everything is settled. Thank you for your help, Eula. If anybody else signs up later, I may have to ask for your help as well.
Why did you give the spot to Eula? Oh, okay. You're so nice. Paimon noticed Eula smiled just now. It must have meant a lot to her. To be honest, Eula really is the best candidate for an instructor. Most people would find it hard to cope on the mountain because of the sheer cold, but not her! Oh, now Paimon gets it. This must be the whole reason why Amber got Eula involved in the first place. We were supposed to find supplies, but now Eula's busy with other stuff, and, Paimon doesn't feel like going around collecting things. How do you think Amber and Joel are doing? Let's head up the mountain and see what they're up to.
Oke, jadi segini dulu aja guys. Dia akan lanjutin lagi questnya. Oke, kita akan cari Amber dan Joel ya. Sementara si Eula lagi ngajarin juniornya. So, sampai bertemu besok. Kita akan lanjutin lagi untuk segera mendapatkan senjata bintang 4 sama artefak bintang 5 ya. So, have a good day. Bye-bye.